It's snowing a lot. Probably the most snow we've gotten all year. Made me think of something. Alright, folks, so it's that time of the month again. Time to do another Daniel story. And since it's snowing, I thought I'd do something that involves snow, or tell something that involved snow. For those of you who don't know, I grew up in the mountains of North Carolina. And a big thing to do up in the mountains is skiing and snowboarding. So this happened maybe like 4 years ago. Wow, it was a long time ago. So this happened like 4 years ago. I had gotten a call from Daniel, and he said, "Hey, me and Catherine are going snowboarding tonight. Would you and Hannah like to join us?" Hannah's my sister, for those of you who don't know. I was like, "Yeah, sure." So Hannah and I went and rented equipment. Hannah rented a snowboard. I wanted skis because I had skied before and never snowboarded before, and I was more comfortable skiing. Catherine picks us up, and we're like, "Hey, so where are we going?" And they're like, "Oh, Beach Mountain." I don't like Beach Mountain. Never have, never will. Me and Beach Mountain have problems. You see, I've only ever been to Beach Mountain twice. The first time was when I was like maybe 7. Okay, I was visiting my cousins over in Huntersville. They thought it would be a great idea and a lot of fun to come up to the mountains and go tubing. I hate tubing. You see, most people have fun tubing. I came home with a black eye because I tubed right into a frozen bale of hay. I was also upset because I looked fat. I had never worn a coat. I was from Florida. So I was like, "Oh my gosh, I look terrible." Oh no, I was really self conscious, I guess. This is going to become a therapy session. So I'm like, "Okay, fine, we'll go." I did not want to go to that mountain. Anyway, so we get there. And, it was fun. We were having a good time. And I was like, "Hey, this isn't as bad as I remember it being. I was going down the bunny slope. That's the easiest one. Catherine was trying to teach Hannah how to snowboard because Hannah had never snowboarded before. Or maybe she had, but she didn't know how really. So Catherine spent a lot of the time training Hannah how to snowboard. But I was pretty good on skis. I'd been to Sugar Mountain quite a bit. I enjoyed it. So Daniel's like, "Hey, why don't we go higher up on the mountain?" I was like, "Okay, that's fine with me, but let's not do anything too difficult." He's like, "Okay." So we went higher up on the mountain. Um, and we came down, and it was fun. I didn't fall. I was doing a good job. Um, and I was actually enjoying myself. Then Daniel says to me, "Jacob, let's go to the top." What? No. Me no likey the toppy. And I said, "Daniel, I can't do that." And he's like, "Neither can I, but let's do it. It'll be fun." And I was like, "No, Daniel, I really am like freaking out because I was scared. I was scared. You know. And Daniel's like, "Well, listen, there's a couple of different slopes up there. We don't have to do the hardest one. Let's just do, whatever the easiest one is at the top." What Daniel was really looking for was a longer slope. He wanted to go down for a longer period of time because the bunny slope was like really quick. You could get down in like 45 seconds, whereas he wanted something that would last a little bit longer, maybe 2 to 3 minutes. So I'm like, "Okay, we'll go up to the top, but let's not do anything too hard. I don't want to do no double black diamond business here." So we get on the lift and we're going up and we're going up and we're going up and we're going up. And sure enough, it just gets darker and darker and darker because, I mean, it was nighttime anyway, but we were getting further and further and further from the resort. And I started to regret everything. I'm just kind of swinging my legs, looking down, seeing people go down, seeing people crash. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm pretty sure I heard some screaming." We get off the lift and we go to the top, and there was an issue. You see, the sign that they have at the top of the mountain that points which way is which slope, it was covered in icy snow. So we couldn't really see what the sign said. And then I was like, "This is bad. We don't know which slope is which." And Daniel's like, "Well, let's just ask some people. So we're waiting, and nobody's coming because nobody does this thing. Eventually, somebody did show up. It was these two French guys, right? I say they're French because they spoke with French accents. And Daniel's like, excuse me. Which one of these is the easiest to go down? So he looks at his friend and he looks back at us and then he says, that way. And we're like, that way? And he's like, yeah, that way. We're like, okay, thanks. So we muster up our courage, what we have of it, and we approach the side, right? And I'm looking down. I'm like, no way. There are trees. You could hit stuff. There's nothing like that on the bunny slope. And Daniel's like, Jacob, it's fine. We got this. Come on, we'll go down together. So we start to go down. And then I hear something. I think it's the worst noise I've ever heard in my entire life. Daniel and I both heard it. It was the sound of two French guys laughing. I turned around and I looked as far as I could turn around with skis on my feet as I was going downhill. And there are these two guys laughing and pointing at us. They sent us down the double black diamond. I think I cried. I think I started to cry. Anyway, we're going down this hill, right? It was so fast. Okay, it was like being in a car without brakes, okay, while falling down a mountain. Except you weren't in a car. You were all by yourself with two sticks stuck to your feet. I usually look to Daniel for comfort in these situations. I look at Daniel, he's like, not saying anything because we're both too cold to scream. We're both going so fast. My stomach. It was terrifying. We're going down so fast now. I couldn't stop. I tried every move. I tried going back and forth. I tried going this way, that way. I tried pizza slice. I hadn't done pizza slice since I was a little kid. Okay? I was desperate. Daniel and I were staying at the same rate going down this hill. Have you ever heard that if you drop an orange and a watermelon at the same time, they will fall and hit the ground at the same time? That was the situation. We were just unable to stop, both of us. So we were just going at the same speed. I looked at Daniel and he looked at me, and we both knew that this was the end. We nodded to each other. Daniel was looking at me. He's like this, right? I'm looking at him, but then I caught a glimpse of what was coming up in front of him. It was a jump. I looked at the jump. I looked at him. I looked at the jump again. He looked at me, and he looked at the jump. He was going. He goes like this. And I went like that. And sure enough, Daniel goes up. I never saw him come down. I never saw him come down. I was going too fast. I just heard him crash in the screams. I shouldn't be laughing. It was actually pretty freaky, but yeah, he just, and that was it. Now it was just me. I knew that Daniel was, I'm really trying not to laugh because it was actually pretty funny now that I think about it. Anyway, so I'm like freaking out. I'm going down this hill so fast. I see a jump coming in front of me. And I'm like, this is it. This is the end. I hit this jump and I stick it. I landed it perfectly. I could see the end. I could see where the resort was. I was going to make it. All of that, sparks were flying. I legitimately had a person come up to me afterward and tell me that sparks were flying after I ran into this old lady in line to get on the ski lift. I knocked her over. I don't think that lady was expecting it. Neither was I. But when I hit her, I continued through the line, and that was enough to kind of like stop me. But I hit the gravel, which you're not supposed to do with skis, and there was like sparks coming up from behind me. I was going really fast. I made it down, and I was okay. I never fell. I think it's kind of funny that I went down that entire mountain without falling, and the only person who fell, besides Daniel, was the old lady that I hit. So I'm worried because Daniel's up there, probably in a big pile of snow somewhere. I waited and waited and waited and waited. But then I saw it. This little sparkle, little shimmering light, something bouncing. It was the reflection of Daniel's jacket. And he's coming down. And he's coming down. And he comes to a very slow stop. And he comes right in front of me. And he pulls up. Like that. And he looks at me and he goes, Jacob. I'm like, I know. And he says, I don't think you do. And I said, I do know, Daniel. I'm sorry. He goes, Jacob. I'm like, what? He says, let's do that again. Needless to say, Daniel and I never went skiing again together. There's a reason for that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the story. I'm going to keep posting them. And I actually had an idea. If any of you have, like, stories with Daniel, let me know. I love hearing stories as much as I love telling them. You know, and maybe if you, like, want to write something and send it to me on Facebook or something, feel free to do that. And I might read it at the end of my video or something. You know, I'll put some graphics to it and tell the story to the best of my ability. Just an idea. I don't know if it's going to happen, but yeah. Anyway, look forward to more videos. As always, I am praying for the Stanton family. And, you know, you're always in my thoughts and prayers, and I love you very much. And Daniel, I love you so much. And I'm going to keep telling these stories. Keep your legacy going on.